I'll give you a prime example of this. So just in the last few months, yours truly, this one right here, had a plan earlier this year, said, hey, this is our current inventory of houses. Right now we're in the low 60s of single family homes that we own, not including parks and stuff like that, commercial, just houses. And I had about 5 houses that I wanted to sell for various reasons. Negative cash flow. I have a partnership that we're dissolving and doing some other things with. And just like, these are 5 that I want to sell. We're at the top of the market too. And so there's typically a certain amount of properties. Hey, we're ready to move these properties, cash out, but we're adding 5 to 10 or 15 more each year to replace the rental inventory that we're going to sell, right? So in the last 2 months, 3 months, we had leases coming due. We had tenants that wanted to stay in houses. We even had 2 tenants. So we said, hey, we need to sell this house. We're going to need you to leave within 60 days. So before we knew anything about Corona, yours truly booted out about 4 or 5 tenants right now. So right now we're going through make readies and, fortunately no big rehabs, but make readies. So rather than having income, cash flow, I could have, renewed leases and waited a year or 2. Now I've got $50,000 to $60,000 of expenses, and what's that number of cash flow coming in, right? So that is what it is. And my plan was to sell those at the top of the market. Are we at the top of the market anymore? I don't know. We don't know. We know we're in a crash. We know we're in a recession. We know we may be going into a very severe depression, but it's kind of weird right now, meaning right now, and each day is changing, that houses in certain price points are theoretically still moving. I've got 2 that are under contract that are looking really good. We listed another property yesterday that's had tons of interest already. So that being said, my plan to sell these properties may very quickly change, and I may lease them. We're open to whatever it takes to weather the storm, so to speak, and eliminating having vacant inventory. But I'll tell you once again, stick to your fundamentals. Look back at old habits that you've applied in your life and in your business that have helped you create success. Okay, because what is old is new again. So look back at some things that have helped you, personally create success, habits, these little things that you've done repetitiously to help you create success in the first place. Once again, eliminate waste, eliminate non-effective items in your business. Guys, you need to come in each and every day, focus and dialed in on your business, on what you're going to do, what you're not going to do. Guys, get in. Like when you're showing up to work on your business, go full force on things that are going to move the needle forward, move the ball forward, and get in and get out. And make sure that when you shut out, whenever you're done for the day, shut it off and be present with your family. Be present, getting back to, even though, there's doom and gloom and all this stuff going on around us, make sure that you are not getting caught up in that, right? There's still time. I've done a really good job of this, I feel like, and I'm even doing a better job of this, is that time just hanging out with my kids, playing outside of it. Played an hour and a half, almost 2 hours yesterday, playing basketball, riding bikes, throwing balls, doing all kinds of stuff. A lot of time this weekend. We took an RV trip last week with my family, a 4-day RV trip. Well, we didn't make it the 4 full days because the teenagers, we tapped out about 3.5 days into it, came home early. But we saw everything that was going on. We don't have to play the game that the media wants us to play, right? So we went away. And so what I want to encourage all of you to do is to act like a leader. You may not even feel like, hey, bro, I'm not ready to lead. Like, that's why I'm like, if you're ready to lead, lead. But if you can't, act like it. Use cautious communication. Be very cautious on what you say and what you communicate to people that you're doing business with, to your family. You can think it, but you may not want to say it, especially with your family and your kids. So be very cautious with your team, with your family, what you communicate. Be a leader, right? And if you don't feel like you can, act like it, right? Be very strategic in what you say, and think cautiously, think twice, because a lot of things you should not say, because you need to really be guiding your ship, managing your fear, managing your insecurity, and keeping everyone focused to the road ahead, right? Because we're just going into this thing. You have to realize history is the greatest, right, source that we have of the future, is looking back at the past. And we all know there's typically about 3 different phases that we're going to have to go through in a recession, right? And there's typically a massive drop. There's a massive drop of the stock market. That's already happened, right? Then there's a quick rebound, maybe not to that height, or almost never to the same level it was, but there's a quick rebound. We've already seen that, right? We're seeing that right now. People are like, oh, maybe it's not going to be so bad. People are going in, people are shorting the market. Then step 3 is the longest phase, and that's the slow climb back to is right before us now. Everything that you've been listening to me talk about in the past, about there being so much competition, this being a seller's market, making it very, very hard to find deals, and that we're competing with all these investors, and there's not a lot of motivated sellers because the unemployment rate is so low, the economy's so good. Here we are, my friends. Like, it is right before us all. It is right before us all. And I'm telling you that this window is going to be shut before we know it. It's going to be shut before we know it. Those who take action now, 3 months, 6 months, a year from now, who have inventory, who bought cheap, who bought low, who built a sustainable business, are going to really be able to capitalize in the future. So I'm telling you, don't seize up from the fear. Don't seize up from the fear. Don't seize up from everything going on that you see in the news, in the media, on social media, but use it as fuel. Turn your fear into fuel. Increase your marketing. That is core and essential to your business. If you're telling yourself, I can't afford to market, you can't afford not to market. Okay? And that's one of the things we're going to cover a little bit more on today's call. I'm going to tell y'all some marketing that we're about to launch and start up specifically because of the market that we're in. Okay, so I rambled much longer than I wanted to, but I hope some of you took some notes and got something from that. I'm going to open up. If any of you have any questions, then unmute yourself and fire away. If not, I've got some stuff in my email that I will cover from some of you guys. So, all right, Lou, Andre, Lucy, Nicole. Who else is on the call? A lot of people on here. Brian, Eric,